feeling, I'm feeling grateful in this moment, really grateful that this is my job, that I get to sit here and meet with the most incredible people every week here inside of the Leverage to Scale community and just have wonderful, intelligent, meaningful conversations and supporting not just the people in the hot seat, but everybody else listening. If you are new to hot seats, it is where a business owner can come in for 30 minutes. You sign up in advance for the month ahead and literally pick my brain for 30 minutes on whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't even have to be marketing related. And we have had seriously some of the most interesting conversations since we started this at the beginning of the new year. And today is going to be no different. I have Catrina here on the line with us. So Catrina, if you want to say hello to everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Catrina. And Amber, would you like me to take a moment or two to just briefly introduce
sure,
who I am,
ahead,
or would you like to do the introduction?
You're going to love her. No, go ahead. That's fun. There's no strict agenda here.
Oh, well, right. So my name is Catrina. Twana and I are career transition coaches and consultants and startup business experts. And just to keep it simple, we exclusively work with aspiring women entrepreneurs, and specifically those who are in the corporate arena, who are looking to transition out of their 9 to 5 and kick that paycheck to paycheck gig to the curb and start a business in the online space that is in alignment with their passion and purpose. And so we really started this business as a vehicle to inspire and empower as many women as possible who are aspiring women entrepreneurs, that is, to really invest in themselves, and starting by, really changing their economy and increasing their financial status. So we are reaching back to as many women as possible across the globe, and we do that through a variation of platforms to include on the stage and one-on-one and in group sessions in our recently launched virtual academy. So in a nutshell, that's who we are and what we do. There we are.
These two are fantastic. We got connected, gosh, it feels like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, about a year and a half to 2-ish years ago, right?
Time, my concept of time since having my 3-year-old Clay, it's like I have no concept of time anymore. But yes, it was through Carolyn Soldo, who's one of my favorite people on the planet. She has a coaching program that can help you really get your business going online. Yeah. And so I think we originally met through Carolyn, but then you guys had your book. Talk a little bit more about the untold story and what happened there.
Yeah, so
I want to get to your questions, but
that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, we actually did meet through Carolyn. She is fantabulous. Absolutely love her and adore her. And she is, everything, right? She's the reason why we really ultimately got from where we were to where we are now. Awesome. But at the time, we had a lot going on simultaneously, to include the launch of our book. And we were on a speaking tour, 18 cities wide across the nation.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, it was a lot of fun, so rewarding, and so exhausting at the same time. A lot of work, just trying to reach as many people as we could, specifically, again, empowering women to really invest in themselves and teach them how to do that. So, and the book, The Untold Story, really is about, it's very a motivational short read, to help keep people on the right track, on the right path, on their entrepreneurial journey, and helping them realize that it doesn't matter what your age is, it doesn't matter where you are in life, it doesn't matter what phase of business you're in, what matters is that you can walk in your awesomeness at any age, at any stage in your life, and you do not have to ask permission from anybody. You don't need to ask permission from anyone whatsoever. This is your calling. You need to honor it, and we are here to help you keep on track so that you can realize your dreams and bring those into fruition, and understand that you can do anything you put your mind to. And we wanted to share our story and share in other people's stories and their journeys, really to help them to revive their vision and bring their dreams to life as well, just like we did.
Good grief. Okay. If your heart is not like wide open right now, I don't even know. That is, man, I love what I do. Seriously. You guys are remarkable. Okay. So we're here to serve you today. and we can go anywhere in the conversation that you want. So you know that my expertise is, well, what we do in services is I build websites that are experiential, that helps you to convert qualified buyers coming in. With Leverage to Scale, it's a product that teaches your team or yourselves how to do your foundational content marketing for you in a fraction of the time that you would be getting it done otherwise, and by getting a whole lot better results, because everything is really optimized for your highest and best success. And then I also do bestseller book launches, as you know.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk about relaunching your book.
Absolutely.
So we can go in any of those areas, of course, but I also have a lot of experience in growing a company, and growing sales and having that consistency and creating systems and structures in your business so you don't feel stressed out about making money or wondering where your next client is coming from. Or, I've explored every possible monetization model that there is and did it myself just for fun to see what would happen. So like tons of experience in all kinds of areas. What would help you the most? Where do you want to start?
Well, that's what I love and appreciate about you, Amber, really, to be honest. I mean, since we've met, one of the things I can truly say about you is that you have been, first of all, you know your stuff. Okay, seriously. You are the expert. You are an industry leader, and especially in the digital space. And so, as newbie entrepreneurs come on board, they really have no idea really where to start and what it's going to look like and what expectations are. One of the things that I really appreciate about you is that when we were first starting our venture in the online space, as we were working with Carolyn, we reached out to you after we were connected, and you were so gracious and so generous in the information you offered us, and we so appreciate that. So that's why I'm really here today.
Girl, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So my first question to you, I have so many, but I know we only have so much time, so I'm going to start with this one.
Ready.
Bring it on, right? So what I'd like to know first is, what would you say would be a really like an effective way to launch or to promote, I should say, a new launch, right? Or a new business in the online space, or to actually, like for example, so when businesses first start, they don't have the big budgets that bigger businesses do, right? They have smaller, limited budgets. And in order to really thrive in the digital space, you're going to have some sort of marketing dollars or advertising dollars so that you can propel your business forward faster. But there are newbie entrepreneurs, and I ask this not only on behalf of us, but on behalf of those individuals who are listening, who probably have the same questions in addition to those that we work with, oftentimes want to know, well, what can I do organically, right? Organically, where if I really am just starting and I don't have the financial resources, how do I promote my business? How do I launch, a brand? How do I really like get out there and be visible and create an opportunity where I'm reaching my ideal market and converting them, into paying clients. So ultimately I can grow my business through, consistent revenue goals. That was a mouthful, and I know, but a big question.
No, dude, I love this
that,
question. Oh my God. I hope everybody in the community is tuning in right now, or you're watching the replay. Like, this is big. This is a big question, and it's such a great one. I've got several things that I just thought of when you were talking. So the first thing that I thought of is that surprisingly, even if you have a big business, it doesn't mean you have a bigger budget to work from.
True.
I know many, many, many big influencers that are in debt, or they are not in a good cash flow situation. Luckily, I am not one of them, because I decided to grow my business very, very differently than most. But that is the reality for a lot of big businesses. And we also think like, oh, if I could just have a bigger budget, then I can do all of these other things. Not true. That is false marketing that we have gotten for sure. So I do want to correct that. The second thing that came up was that I know that for me, and I've got many examples of this, when I don't have, a big budget, I get scrappy. That is the word that I tune in. It's like time to get scrappy. And I remember there was a product launch that I did, gosh, many moons ago, like 6 years ago. And I thought this was the one, and for 5 months, Catrina, I did everything. I put everything into that product launch. It was, to this day, one of the most creative, innovative, leveraged, amazing things that I've ever done. And long story short, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. And while healing from my utter devastation and then feeling even more disappointed in myself, because what I realized is that I put all of my eggs in one basket, and I didn't maintain other opportunities for income during that time. So now the well had dried up. So I'm feeling bad, I'm grieving, and I'm pissed off, and I'm stressed out. And what I did is I got scrappy. And that's going to be something that means something a little bit different to everybody that's listening. For me, it meant at the time, if I was only selling websites, I Googled, I thought like, okay, who out there would, needs a website that I would like to work with? And at the time it was coaches, right? So I thought, well, instead of just Googling like coaches, what kind of coaches? Divorce coaches. It was so random. So I Googled divorce coaches, and I went website by website on the results. And I'd pull up a website and I'd think, I don't feel anything with this one. Next, ooh, she looks really nice. And oh gosh, that opt-in offer is not working for her. Oh man, if she had a video right here, if she did this right here, she would be a game changer for her. So I'd reach out to her contact page and I'd say, Beth or whatever, like I'm a web person. I was searching divorce coaches, came upon you. And I thought, you know what? If you did these tweaks, it would make all the difference in the world on your website. I just want to share that with you. If there's ever anything that I can do, I'm happy to get on a call and talk to you further. Thanks so much for what you do in the world. And then I'd move on to the next one. That day, I contacted 50 different divorce coaches.
Wow.
And I remember hating every single minute, feeling like the biggest loser on the planet, thinking like all the comparison, like, oh, nobody else would do this. Like everybody else has it so much better than I do. But I got scrappy. And what happened next, I had just enough people, a few people respond. They got on the phone with me. It resulted in $15,000 plus worth of sales that got me breathing again. And it got the cash flow flowing again. So I say, I didn't want to take up too much of your time here to explain that, but sometimes we have to get creative. We have to go off the beaten path, go away from what these marketers are telling us to do, and just go straight to the market in service. Notice I wasn't like templated, like, oh, I'm a web person and I should redesign your site. Contact me for more. I started like, here is how to improve your stuff. And I'm here if I can be of service. And it worked. So number one, get scrappy. And it's a short-term strategy. The other thing that came up is referrals. I would have a brilliant referral system in place. Not just like when I think about it and somebody has a good experience, I might say something like, hey, Catrina, if you know anybody, but it's okay if you don't, but if you know anybody that might sort of maybe be open, let me know. No rush, no pressure. You don't have to think about it. Like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. That's what most people do. But instead, what if you and Twana could create like a systematic approach that when somebody buys your book, this thing happens, and then you're sending this email and you are telling people, this is who I am trying to connect with. Here are the ways you can help me do that. Here's a sample email that you could edit to your voice that you could send out to 3 people right now. Really help me out. Here's why. If you have an actual system behind getting referrals, this thing is going to spread way faster than any Facebook ads budget or anything else that you could be doing. So I think there's a lot of creativity that can go into referrals, not just for the book, but your membership, everything else that you're doing. And the last thing that came through, see, I told you it was a big question. And then we can drill down further.
But keep going. I'm soaking it all in.
The last thing that came through is think in terms of leverage, right? So thinking about where do most of my people hang out? And so, for example, along that same time, 6 years ago, I was thinking the same thing. And I thought, well, I love authors. So who has authors as their clients? And I thought book coaches. So I started reaching out to book coaches in a different kind of way. And I would say, hi, I'm Amber. I do these book launches. I build websites. I do marketing. I see that you and I share a common client. And, I'm looking for vendors that I can refer my authors to in book development. You might need somebody to refer to for marketing and launch. Do you want to have a conversation and see if there's a fit here? And, that's creating a win-win solution, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so I would just have conversations and maybe it would work out and maybe it wouldn't, but being proactive about setting up that referral channel. So same kind of idea in a different sense. So it could be in a collaborative sense, but it could also be thinking in leverage is like speaking on stages, getting interviewed on podcasts, not having your own podcast, which is going to drain your time, money, and energy,
Right.
but getting on other people's podcasts, that kind of thing. But other than that, like it just takes time and it takes a lot longer than anybody else is advising you. It's just, especially now with the competition and how this is like an information overload world that we live in now,
Yep.
it is harder. But if you can get scrappy, get referrals, leverage, I'm telling you, like and that all costs you $0, all of it.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I love that. I love the getting scrappy, and I oftentimes I've used that term myself actually. So
Good.
pointing that, right? The
Yeah.
scrappy term. So, but it's really true. You have to just get really lean with it when it's necessary. But I wanted to go back to something you said. You made a good point about leveraging your website, right? And so we've heard all of us at some point being in this market that your website is your number one marketing tool. And so you're the guru at this. I would really like for you to speak more to what that might look like. What would be your suggestions as to how we can best utilize and leverage our websites as our number one marketing tool?
Okay. The website is the hub and heart of everything else that you do because it's people's first-ish impression, right? Like they might have seen you on YouTube or heard you on a podcast, but really this is where they are coming to get that impression of you. So it better be a good one. And this day and age, you want a website that is experiential, meaning that as soon as I land, I am experiencing you two right out of the gates. Now, the good news is that you do that to a degree. So if I'm popping on your website here, even just this gradient color in the background gives me a striking impression. Now, imagine just a quick example. If this were just a black and white photo, it would give me a very different feeling about you, right? So even just your color usage can be important. But I love this like rotating photos of you two, and I get a sense of your partnership, your synergy, how aligned you are, how comfortable, relaxed you are, and who you are, right? So all of that right out of the gates is giving me an impression of you. I think that there could be a much stronger use of video on this website.
I knew you were going to go there. I knew it. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah. So a couple of the ways that I use video on my website, you see this big background here.
Yeah, love it. Oh, look at Susie.
Yeah. So these are our clients. And notice that when you land on the website, now I'm going to give you contrast here, so bear with me.
Okay.
But this particular website, this is not about me. This is about you, right? Because this is you need a website, you should hire us kind of thing.
Right.
But since it's not about Amber, I make it about my clients, which is why right out of the gates, you get to see a range of my clients here, right? Then you scroll down and you see immediately there's a video right here. Yeah. And this is you connecting with me. We're getting introduced to each other. We are forming a bond, right? And I'm guiding you through how to experience my website, how to experience me, what makes us different, what's the process, so that you feel in control, you feel empowered, right? So those are two ways that I use video. Now, in contrast, if you go to my personal website, that is about me. So the video background here is all Amber shots, not because I have some big ego, but because I need you to experience me if you're looking to hire me for a speaker, for example.
Right.
So on your speaking page, that can definitely be all about you guys on stage, right? And showing that personality. But look here, there's that same video that tells you everything that I do and who I am and how to navigate the website and what to do next.
Right.
So those two things are creating an experience, and it's creating a bond and a connection that I think would serve you two really well, because you guys have such light. Your light like freaking blasts through the universe. It's so big. It's beautiful. Use that to really let people see you up front. And that's why, speaking back to leverage to scale for a moment, that whole system is designed around you making a batch of videos that go out every single week on YouTube, but then I practice what I preach. So right here on the Leverage to Scale website, I take my weekly videos and I make a blog post out of them. Well, actually my team does it for me, but you'll see it goes into a blog post. And this, Catrina, becomes the bait that gets people back into your website where they're like, oh, what's everything else that she has here? And I have that blog. I have 3 blogs because I have 3 websites. So I have that same blog, different content, different videos on my Amber Vilhauer site. This one's a lot of like live streaming and other kind of tip videos and stuff. But then the my website agency one is also different. This one is more client centric, right? So live streams that we do with our clients or case studies, things that we're doing there. So I share that to give you the contrast, because everybody watching is going to have a different business and a different purpose. But the point is that if you in your marketing start with video, you're getting people back on your website here, where now they're connecting with you in the video. They're getting to know you and what you do. They're reminded. Well, now they're already on your website. So then they get to experience you in that initial video here. Oh yeah, that's what they do. Oh yeah, I really do like them. Oh, I am in a better time right now to move forward with them. So these strategies can work for a new person coming in or a returning person coming in. But basically this becomes the hub and heart of everything else. All of the activity happens. And I did see you have a blog, by the way. So I am aware that you have that. But I think as long as they, or maybe it just takes a minute to load. Look how funny that is. If you start utilizing video more, you're going to get a far, far better result in general. Does that help you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with you. And I'm glad you mentioned video, by the way, because I think, and we're using video for everything these days, because it is such a great way to make that immediate connection and give people the impression of a little taste of, who you are, who they would be looking forward to working with. Do they like you? What do they feel about you? What energy or vibe is there immediately, right? So all of that is really important. And this is a great time for us to speak about this. I'm glad you mentioned how we can add video into our website, because it was something we were considering doing for sure. Every year, we actually look to, at ways that we can incorporate, what's really working well, what are some of the best strategies, incorporate all of that into, as we make changes in our website. So this is around the time frame we actually make upgrades. So that will certainly be something incorporated into the revisions, because oftentimes people have a really pretty website and their web developer is great at constructing a beautiful website. But if it's not a website that's really working, if you're not incorporating those strategies, what difference does it make that you have a beautiful website, right? You're not getting,
that's what I say,
you're not funneling people in, right?
Yeah. And then I just want to share that, like, you could have a video right here on the top of your Work With Us page that goes specific into this piece. Then you should also have a video on your book page that's like, this is the book, man. And this is where the idea came from and the journey that it took us to get here and why we're so passionate about it. And not only do we want you to buy 500 copies for you and all of your friends, but then we, tell the world about this, because here's the value and what the benefits are. I mean, if you bring that energy and life force to this page, telling you to sell more books, Then go over to your Why Choose Us page, video right there. You tell me on video why I should choose you, right? Because you cannot rely that I'm going to be reading all this text, because chances are I won't. I might scan it, but I probably won't read it. And so, but I will watch a video, right? So those, I have literally video, I think, on every single page of all of my websites.
Do you? Okay.
The quick class tip is this. I do them in batch, right? So I'll sit down, dedicate one day, and it's like, that's my video day. And I'll change my shirt, I'll put my hair up, whatever I need to do to make them look a little bit different. You'll see, like, on my main service pages and, you know, that kind of thing, it's the same shirt, right? And so there's that consistency. But in my marketing, I'm always have a different look, even though I did them all in the same day. So I'll just change my shirt, change my hair. But other than that, like, video everywhere. I have video on opt-in pages. It's not just here's text. It's like, here's the video that explains why you should opt in. And once you do that, video on the thank you page, right? So there's video everywhere. Okay.
Okay. No, that's perfect. I do them in batch as well. So I am going to definitely work on that. That will be the next project for sure.
Okay.
So thank you so much for that. I don't know if we have time for one more question, but we might be.
Round. I know my answers are lengthy because I'm trying to give you everything I've got. But yes, one more question.
Okay. No, I appreciate it so much. So my last question has to do with the book launch, right? So we've already gone through the initial process of launching our book, and that was great. You know, the hype around the book, you know, we were doing the speaking engagements, right? We were across the nation. We were doing our, you know, all of that stuff that surrounds all the marketing piece that surrounds launching a book. But now we're considering a relaunch. And I know that that's something else that you can speak to. So I'd love to hear what your suggestions might be. What are the best approaches and best practices for a relaunch of a best-selling book?
Oh, this is okay. I'm going to be late to my next call. That's okay. So I'll be as quick as I can, because this is a huge topic, and it's one that I'm especially passionate about today, right now. I actually, when you were talking, as soon as you said relaunch, I pulled up this document that I'll speak to. This is why it's so passionate right now, is I literally just finished, oh my gosh, Julie on my team is like, what? You're telling people? I just finished a course called Bestseller Book Launch Blueprint. And I'm announcing it next week. So nobody even knows that I've been working on this. So that's why she's going to be like, what are you doing? But anyway, so I did this because I have been getting an overwhelming amount of feedback that authors want to know how to relaunch their book. So whether you're launching for the first time or a relaunch, what I did is I had to look at, like, what is the service that I provide to, like, Susie Carter in 15-month work engagement? And how do I pare that down into a structure that I can give authors like you? And with the recommendation that you do a relaunch once a year. Every single year, I want you relaunching that book to revive it in the marketplace, to get more reviews, spike in sales, and leverage that to then monetize further, right? So there's no limit to how often you can relaunch your book, and nobody knows that. It's amazing. So I created this course that's like the introduction, and I base this whole program around a 4-month launch. So if you decide you want to do a, launch next fall, that's fine. You just expand out certain sections of the structure. But otherwise, most people are like pretty anxious to relaunch. So that I give you a 4-month plan.
Okay.
And we talk about your mindset, how to set goals, what team members do you need to be in place. This is a big one. How do you monetize? Because the book launch itself probably isn't going to directly give you a lot of income, but what bonuses that you offer during that book launch to reward people for taking immediate action and buying the book, you can use those bonuses in a really creative and strategic way to then further monetize right after that. Within the next 1 to 4 week period, you should have a burst of sales. And I go deep into, like, the different models and why you would pick different ones and how to prepare in advance for it. Every relaunch, you could have a different monetization model. You could have different bonuses, or they could be exactly the same. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel. If something is working, keep using it. We talk about documentation so that you can relaunch with ease every year moving forward. This module took me just near forever because I go into your platform of like how to get your website ready, what launch specific pages you should have, what moves the needle on each. And then into your marketing, not just like your foundational marketing, but using that word leverage. So here's the key for you. I want you guys focused on live streaming. And what I'm going to do as a gift to you is I'm going to give you a live stream protocol that teaches you how to optimize your live streams and how to get them to go viral. And I'm just going to give that to you as a gift after this hot seat so that you guys have that just as a way of helping you move forward and so that you feel like you got really meaty value out of this. But if you do live streaming, I'm telling you that, and then focusing on your networks and podcasting are the three areas that I'd really want you spending most of your time on. So I talk about all of that in platform. Network is all about your network. Who's in your network? Mm-hmm. How do we understand the potential of your network? How do we add new people into your network? There's like outreach, email templates, and spreadsheets and all the stuff that you would need to really, it's unbelievable the amount of work that went into this. And then the last piece is our launch. You've got to think about your countdown period is 6 weeks down to the actual launch day. Mm-hmm. And what emails are you sending out to your network? What social media posts? How are you building buzz and momentum getting down to launch day? And just so you know, you'd want to have about 5 emails go out to your email list within that 6-week period. And you're building momentum and teasing them and letting them know something is coming so that when you have your launch day, everybody's anticipating, they're ready for it. They're excited to buy the book and get the bonuses. And then you're going to pivot and leverage that to monetize. And this can happen every year. And just imagine that. So then the last module is all about what to do next. And this is probably like a 40-minute training just in and of itself about how to grow your company from here, basically. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I went into detail in sharing this and using this as an opportunity and being late to my call, and hopefully I didn't make you late to something that you're doing.
That's okay.
It's because anybody that is watching, since I just put the cat out of the bag and wasn't even planning on this, I next week have announced to my email list that I am looking for 10 people that will become the first early adopters into this course at a ridiculous discounted price because I need beta testers to go through the material and look and see, like, is there a typo somewhere? Did I miss a beat somewhere that I shouldn't have? But this is basically a program that you and your team can watch and use the email templates and spreadsheets for every subsequent launch that you do moving forward. So if anybody is interested in that, send me a private comment so that I can give you early access to that. But for you two, I am going to give you that live stream optimization protocol because I think that is a tremendous value. People have paid $1,500 for that in the past. So I'm just going to give that to you on the call. And I think that's something that you can really use now and for your launch to get a way better result.
Thank you so much.
I know Amber. That was a lot. Sorry.
No, and I'm absorbing it. Listen, I think that, first of all, thank you so much. I mean, for pouring into me today, offering so much value as you always do. You always give 150% of yourself. I knew who to come to for my questions because I knew I would get such thorough answers. And I know that you go into great detail and you put in so much work, behind what you do. I really appreciate it. And thank you for gifting us with that protocol. I mean, it's going to be, I know that your program is going to be something that many people should buy into because it's going to get them the results that they're looking for. So I so appreciate you for that.
Cool. Thank you. Well, this is great. I'm really excited about this, and definitely keep us posted in the community as to when you are relaunching so that our community can rally and support you. Can definitely count on our support. And guys, for everybody that's listening, thanks for letting us go over and for your patience. I would love to know any follow-up questions that you have, or what your biggest aha was. What was your biggest takeaway from today? Put that in the comments below. We do have our next hot seats coming up in March, because I'm out of town next week. And so very soon, Julie is going to be opening it up to the community to ask who wants the March hot seats. And it's going to be first come, first serve. And if you want this kind of value, then you should be paying attention to the Facebook group so that you can sign up for that. And Catrina, I just want to thank you for showing up with such great questions, and the heart that you guys have for your business. And I just value you. So thanks for being a part of the community.
Absolutely, Amber. Thanks for having me today.
All right. We'll sign off for now, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay.